All right, people. So I just want to talk about the fact that WWE Being PG is a total scam. I mean, some of the shit they did on there, not just last week, or not just this week Monday, but in the past, is just not acceptable for kids. So what they had on Monday was Enzo Amore basically trying to have sex with Lana. First off, that's sending a terrible message to kids. And you might say, oh, it's a fake show. Well, yeah, somebody who's mature enough, fucking, an adult or a 15, 16, 17 year old is mature enough to know that that's wrong. But if you're showing that to a 9 year old kid, or, AKA your typical Cena fan is not going to know the difference between, like, hey, you're not supposed to fucking cheat on your girlfriend or your wife. It's not a or you're not supposed to go off and have sex with a married woman. That's not a good thing to do. But you got uh, Enzo going off and doing that, and they're making a whole joke about it. Like, no, that's not a good message to send to your kids, the kids. And then on top of that, they actually, show Lana and Enzo. I mean, you got fucking Enzo Amore stripping down to his fucking boxers. I mean, is that something a 9 year old kid should be subject to? That's not something a kid that age who has not reached puberty yet, who does not know what sex is or should not know what sex is. I mean, that's not something to expose our young children to at this young of age. And this is a problem with society. We expose our children to shit like this and shit like this, in the media and on in not the media but more of television, and sex is all over television, and it's glorified. It's in the music we listen to. you know these are not good things, and these should not be. And I mean, whoever's fucking making these ratings, whoever, whatever bullshit government agency oversees these ratings, they should really say, WWE, you're not that's not acceptable for kids to see. That is not an acceptable thing for a 9 year old to witness. They probably don't even know what the fuck it is, and it's not going to put a good message into a kid's mind at that age. So, and then we wonder, why our kids are so fucked up at, 13, 14. It's because, one, we let our kids watch this shit, and two, I mean, shit, it's like, this is passed off as acceptable for children. I mean, really? So, I mean, they should just fucking go to fucking TV 14 if you're going to do shit like this. If you're going to fucking say the word bitch and ass and whatever the fuck, go to fucking TV. And if you're going to have sexual content on your show involving sex, you have to go to TV 14. I mean, that's not acceptable content for a child to see. So I mean, them being fucking, we're PG, we're a family show. Oh, yeah, that was a really family friendly segment there between Lana and I mean, yeah, I mean, that's just a segment you sit down with, your 10-year-old kid and your, and just the whole family. Yeah, great family segment there. I mean, there would have been no. I mean, that's a segment you don't want to watch with your fucking parents. I mean, you had those moments, when you're kind of going into high school about, and I mean, you're sitting there watching something with your parents, and it's very awkward when there's like a sex related scene, because you're kind of thinking like, from the parents' point of view, it's just weird watching that with a fucking kid who's just beginning to go into high school, or around that age, and as the kid watching that, or as the teenager watching that, I've had these moments where, I mean, I'm sure every kid has, where it's like you can't laugh or you can't acknowledge the sexual humor or the sexual content, because then your parents are going to know, oh, what fucking sex, what a blowjob is, what all these terms mean. I mean, it's it's kind of a very awkward situation there. So I don't know what's really going through my parents' mind at that point, but no, I mean, the point is, it's not something that should be advertised, and it's a tricky role with WWE too, because it's a live show. So I mean, with movies, you could say, oh, in this movie there's going to be a sexual scene, there's going to be brief nudity, whatever the fuck. WWE, it's like it's a crapshoot. One week it might be just totally fine and friendly. The next week you might have fucking sex are all over the place. Wives. Fucking wrestlers banging married people. I mean, you never know what the fuck you're gonna get. So and should a show with violence, a show with fucking violence, should that show really be geared towards children? It's just not a fit. It's like SpongeBob should not be geared towards adults. Like violence and swearing and sex should not be geared towards fucking 9 and 10-year-old children. It should not be a PG show. So the fact that they advertise as a PG show is complete bullshit. They're not family friendly. They might be friendly 95% of the time, but that 5% of the time where they're not family friendly is what really counts. So this whole fucking we're PG bullshit is not legit, and so just again another lie from this terrible company. So there you go, people.